HOA Karen's sneer could curdle milk. She waddled toward my car, her floral dress flapping like a warning flag, ready to ruin someone's day. The street was quiet, save for the hum of distant traffic and the faint clink of coins in a nearby meter. I stood frozen behind the glass door of Min's corner store, clutching a bag of groceries, watching her scribble furiously on a notepad. This wasn't just a parking ticket, it was her personal vendetta, her twisted way of claiming power over a neighborhood she despised. I'd seen HOA Karen before, always lurking, always judging. She was a self-appointed enforcer of rules that didn't exist, a woman who thrived on making others feel small. At 300 pounds, with a permanent scowl and a voice that could shatter glass, she'd terrorized the block for months. Shopkeepers whispered about her behind closed doors, but no one dared confront her. Not until today. It started with a misunderstanding, or so I thought. My beat-up Honda was parked legally, 2 feet from the curb, meter paid until 7 p.m. I double-checked the signs, paranoid after last month's $75 fine. But Karen didn't care about facts. She decided my car was an eyesore, a blemish on her street. I watched her rip a page from her notepad, her meaty fingers slapping it under my windshield wiper. The paper fluttered, a fake ticket with her loopy handwriting, accusing me of parking in a restricted zone. Restricted zone? There was no such thing. I pushed open the shop door, the bell jangling. "Hey," I called, my voice sharper than I intended. Karen spun around, her eyes narrowing like a predator sizing up prey. Min, the shopkeeper, poked his head out, his face a mix of curiosity and dread. Across the street, a teenager named Jaden, who often hung out by the bodega, paused his texting to watch. The air felt heavy, like the moment before a storm breaks. "What do you think you're doing?" I demanded, stepping closer. Karen puffed out her chest, her double chin quivering with indignation. "This is my block," she snapped, waving her notepad like a badge. "You parked illegally, and I'm issuing a citation. Pay up or get towed." Her voice dripped with smug authority, as if she were the mayor, judge, and jury rolled into one. I laughed, a short, incredulous bark. "You're not a cop. That's not a real ticket. Take it off my car." Her face reddened, and she stepped closer, towering over me despite my 5'10" frame. "I'm with the neighborhood watch," she lied, her breath smelling faintly of onions. "I have authority. You'll regret crossing me." Min emerged from the shop, wiping his hands on his apron. "Karen, stop this," he said, his voice steady but strained. "You can't just make up rules. That's not how it works." She turned on him, her eyes blazing. "Stay out of this, Min. You're just a shop boy. You don't get to tell me what's legal." The venom in her words stung, and Min flinched, but he didn't back down. Jaden, still across the street, started recording on his phone, his lips curled in a mix of amusement and disgust. I grabbed the paper from my windshield. It was a photocopied template, crudely filled out with a ballpoint pen. Violation, unauthorized parking. Fine, $100. Payable to HOAK. Payable to her? The audacity hit me like a punch. She wasn't just playing cop, she was running a scam. "You're forging tickets," I said, holding up the paper. "This is fraud. You could go to jail for this." Karen laughed, a harsh, guttural sound. "Go ahead, call the cops. They'll side with me. I'm keeping this street clean, unlike you people." The "you people" hung in the air, a slur aimed at everyone who wasn't her. Min's jaw tightened, and Jaden's camera kept rolling. I pulled out my phone and dialed 911, my hands shaking with anger. Karen's smirk faltered for a split second, but she doubled down, scribbling another fake ticket and slapping it on Min's delivery van. "You're next," she hissed at him. Min, usually calm, looked ready to snap. He'd worked 16-hour days to keep his store afloat, and now this woman was threatening his livelihood over nothing. The police arrived 10 minutes later, 2 officers in a cruiser. Officer Ramirez, a wiry woman with sharp eyes, stepped out first. Her partner, Officer Chun, followed, scanning the scene. I explained everything, holding up the fake ticket. Min chimed in, his voice low but firm, recounting Karen's months of harassment, fake fines, threats to call the city, even complaints about loiterers like Jaden. The teenager, still filming, handed his phone to Chun, who watched the footage with a deepening frown. Karen, undeterred, launched into a tirade. "I'm enforcing order," she shouted, jabbing a finger at me. "These people park wherever they want, ruining our neighborhood. I have every right to issue citations." She waved her notepad, now half filled with her forged tickets, as if it were a law book. Ramirez raised an eyebrow. "Ma'am, do you have any official authority to issue parking tickets?" Karen hesitated, then puffed up again. "I'm with the Neighborhood Watch. I've been authorized by the community." Chin shook his head, scrolling through Jaden's video. "This shows you writing and placing a fraudulent document on a vehicle. That's forgery, ma'am. And extortion, if you're demanding payment." Karen's face went pale, but she didn't back down. "You can't arrest me. I'm protecting this street." The officers exchanged a glance. Ramirez pulled out handcuffs. "Hoa Karen, you're under arrest for forgery and attempted extortion." The cuffs clicked around her wrists, and for the first time, Karen's bravado cracked. Her eyes widened, her mouth opening and closing like a fish out of water. "You can't do this," she screamed as Chun led her to the cruiser. "I know people. I'll have your badges." But her threats fell flat, drowned out by the creak of the car, door slamming shut. Jaden, still filming, let out a low whistle. "Karma's a beast," he muttered, posting the video to X with a caption, "HOA Karen busted for fake tickets. Justice served." Min shook his head, a mix of relief and exhaustion on his face. "She's been doing this for months," he said. "I thought it'd never stop." I looked at the crumpled fake ticket in my hand, the ink smudged from Karen's sweaty grip. It was more than a scam. It was her way of wielding power, of making us feel small. But she'd overplayed her hand, and now the neighborhood was free of her reign. The next day, word spread like wildfire. Jaden's video went viral on X, racking up thousands of likes and comments. People shared their own stories of Karen's tyranny, fake fines, nasty confrontations, even threats to call immigration on Min's cousin. The community, once silenced by her bullying, found its voice. A group chat formed, organizing a cleanup of the street, not because Karen demanded it, but because we wanted to reclaim it. Karen's case went to court a month later. The evidence was overwhelming. Jaden's video, a stack of forged tickets found in her purse, and testimonies from half the block. She pleaded guilty to avoid a harsher sentence, but the judge didn't go easy. 3 months in jail, a $2,000 fine, and a year of community service. Ironic, given her obsession with cleaning the neighborhood. The courtroom erupted in murmurs as she was led away, her head bowed, her floral dress now a symbol of her downfall. I drove past Min's store a week later, the street quieter without Karen's looming presence. Min waved me inside, offering a free coffee. "You did good," he said, his smile genuine. "We all did." Jaden, now a local hero, was outside, showing off his new phone bought with donations from grateful neighbors. The fake ticket, still pinned under my wiper that day, was framed on Min's wall, a reminder of the day we stood up. It wasn't just about a ticket or a fine. It was about refusing to let one person's ego crush a community's spirit. Karen thought she could rule us with fear, but she forgot one thing. Power built on lies always crumbles. And when it did, we were there to pick up the pieces together. The end.